The energy in Cleveland isn't quietly tiptoeing in, it's kicking down the door with unapologetic force, sweeping away years of disappointment and mediocrity. And at the heart of this uprising is Shedeur Sanders, a fifth-round draft pick with a headline-worthy surname and a grind-till-it-hurts mentality that silences critics before they can even speak. This isn't your typical feel-good off-season tale where a rookie flashes for a few practices, sparks a few cheers, and fades back into the shadows. No, this is a reckoning, a seismic shift cloaked in shoulder pads and soaked cleats. The now viral clip of Shedeur training solo in the rain didn't go viral because it looked cinematic, it exploded because it meant something. In a league obsessed with flash and filters, this wasn't manufactured. No curated content, no branded gear, no NFL Films crew, just a drenched football field, slippery gloves, and a quarterback consumed with greatness. That video made Cleveland ask a question it hadn't dared voice in over a decade. What if the best quarterback on the roster isn't the richest, the most experienced, or the most hyped? What if he's a 22-year-old gladiator raised in Shedeur Sanders' forge of fire and discipline? You can feel the shift in the atmosphere. Veterans sense it. Coaches whisper about it. Fans are screaming it. Shedeur isn't knocking. He's bulldozing through every expectation. And while the Browns front office tries to maintain order and whisper measured plans, the building knows something big is brewing under center. The only real question is, will Cleveland embrace it or miss the moment entirely? Long before the ESPN buzz, long before the tweets and TikToks, Shedeur was grinding. Before the sun cracked the sky or the lights flickered on at camp, he was out there, alone, no cameras, no entourage, just sweat, silence, and soul-level dedication. And here's the twist. He didn't want anyone to see it. That iconic video, it wasn't staged. It was leaked by a stunned team assistant who caught a glimpse of a soaked QB slicing spirals in a windstorm, like a surgeon performing a solo at midnight. That raw hunger, not hype, is what sparked this wildfire. And while viral moments catch attention, production wins jobs. That's where Shedeur's story morphs from myth into measurable impact. He's not just grinding, he's dominating. He's completing 75% of his passes in camp, a staggering stat for a rookie adjusting to NFL velocity and disguised coverages. And these aren't cupcake reps. He's dealing dimes with backup wideouts against NFL defenders, doing everything they can to rattle him. Yet Shedeur's timing is surgical, his presence ice cold, his decision-making lightning fast. Red zone drills where everything shrinks and the heat intensifies. Sanders doesn't flinch. He dissects defenses with precision, calling audibles at the line like a seasoned veteran and delivering anticipation throws before his targets even break. He's not learning the offense. He's commanding it. Even more jaw-dropping, he's doing this with the B team, backup receivers, rotational linemen, and still, he's making the defense look pedestrian. Imagine what happens when he syncs with the starters. The ceiling? It vanishes. Head coach Kevin Stefanski, notoriously measured and methodical, is already shifting posture. What started as token reps is now a legitimate evaluation. Translation, the door is creaking open. And Shedeur isn't just walking through, he's captivating the room. Want to know who the real leader of a team is? Don't ask the coach. Watch the locker room. Feel the energy. Right now, that electricity in Cleveland is humming around one name: Sanders. He's not barking orders. He's not chasing attention. He's earning allegiance the old-fashioned way. Early mornings, late nights, and relentless execution. Linemen respect him because he studies their technique and makes their jobs smoother. Receivers fight to run routes for him because they know the ball will be there, crisp, clean, and catchable. Running backs trust him to shift into the right call the moment a blitz creeps in. He's not just learning the playbook, he's conducting the orchestra. And this isn't rookie camaraderie. It's not about being the new guy with swagger. This is veteran respect. You know what speaks volumes in an NFL practice? Silence after a bad throw when Shedeur misses. And yes, every quarterback does. There are no groans, no frustrated shrugs. Why? Because they already trust he'll correct it on the next rep. That kind of faith isn't taught, it's earned. Upstairs in the front office, execs tread lightly now around the depth chart like it's a minefield, because in their gut they know Cleveland may have just stumbled into something bigger than they imagined, and the city It's no longer hoping, it's bracing. Can the Chiefs lock in a burgeoning superstar in the secondary before the market skyrockets? Will they fortify the offensive and defensive lines, even if it means setting new financial precedents? Might a polarizing trade shift the balance of power in the AFC or unravel it altogether? The choices made in the coming weeks will either cement the dynasty's foundation or begin to erode its core. Let's break down the latest developments in Kansas City. But first, a quick favor. If you enjoy deep dives like this, smash that like button. It goes a long way in supporting the channel. Thank you for being part of the Chiefs community. The front office is actively exploring long-term extensions for several rising stars, and at the center of these negotiations is standout cornerback Trent McDuffie. On July 1st, Arrowhead Pride analyst Rohan Chakrabarthi conducted a league-wide review of top-tier cornerback contracts and outlined a forward-thinking deal for McDuffie. He emphasized that with the CB market trending upward, the Chiefs would be wise to secure McDuffie's future sooner rather than later. Chakrabarthi projected a 3-year, $97 million, 0 cents extension with a staggering $80 million, 0 cents in full guarantees. Factoring in McDuffie's existing rookie deal, which includes the 2025 season and a 5th-year option for 2026, the total payout balloons to $113,240,000, 0 cents. His breakdown highlights how the additional years would essentially be grafted onto McDuffie's rookie scale contract. For reference, cornerback Derek Stingley Jr. signed a 5-year, $113 million deal with 2 years left on his rookie agreement. Though McDuffie's projected average from new money sits at $32,330,000, 0 cents annually, the blended annual value over 5 years lands closer to $22,650,000 home run zero, a more feasible figure in today's cap landscape. A glaring inconsistency in the league's collective bargaining rules has also impacted McDuffie's valuation. Despite earning first-team and second-team All-Pro honors, achievements generally more prestigious than Pro Bowl appearances, McDuffie's 5th-year option remains undervalued. That's because the NFL still calculates that option based on Pro Bowl nods, not All-Pro designations, a structural flaw that disadvantages elite performers like McDuffie. Extending his contract now would rectify this inequity and reward exceptional performance that the current framework fails to fully acknowledge. Comparing McDuffie to former Chief L'Jarius Sneed further underscores the logic behind this investment. Aside from missing 6 games due to injury as a rookie, McDuffie has been a model of consistency, starting 16 games in both 2023 and 2024 and appearing in 10 playoff matchups across 3 seasons. He turns just 25 this September. Meanwhile, Sneed, though similarly versatile, was 27 at the time of his departure and carried more wear and tear. The Chiefs' decision to move on was quickly validated. Sneed played just 5 games for Tennessee in 2024 before succumbing to injury, reinforcing Kansas City's belief in McDuffie's long-term reliability and impact. Meanwhile, another key piece of the Chiefs' 2025 puzzle is returning. According to NFL Network insider Ian Rappaport, Kansas City is bringing back their leading rusher from last season, veteran running back Kareem Hunt, on a 1-year, $1,500,000 0 cents deal. The reunion adds proven depth to the backfield and strengthens the team's offensive identity heading into another championship run. Now 29 years old and turning 30 this August, Kareem Hunt's 2024 campaign marked a powerful redemption arc in Kansas City. Signed in September after an injury sidelined Isaiah Pacheco, Hunt immediately became a steady force in the backfield, ultimately leading the team with 724 rushing yards during the regular season. This signing wasn't just about production, it symbolized a second chance. Originally drafted by the Chiefs in the 3rd round of the 2017 NFL Draft, Hunt burst onto the scene as a dominant starter during his first 2 seasons. But that rise was abruptly halted when a video surfaced showing him assaulting a woman, an incident he initially denied to team officials. The Chiefs released him in November 2018, and Hunt later signed with the Cleveland Browns in February 2019, where he spent 5 seasons rebuilding his image and career. Fast forward to 2024, Hunt returned to Kansas City and almost instantly became the team's featured back. His efforts helped propel the Chiefs to another Super Bowl appearance, this time against the Philadelphia Eagles, marking Hunt's first time playing on the NFL's biggest stage. The new deal also offers Hunt something he hadn't received in the previous 2 seasons, a formal invitation to training camp. Without an official camp invite in either 2023 or 2024, Hunt was relegated to training independently under the guidance of a former high school coach in Ohio. This time around, he'll be fully integrated from day one. That said, the Chiefs' backfield is getting crowded. Along with Pacheco and promising rookie fullback Carson Steele, the team recently signed explosive speedster Elijah Mitchell. With a stacked running back class expected in the upcoming NFL draft, Kansas City retains ample flexibility to add even more talent if needed. Meanwhile, another critical deadline looms, July 15th, the cutoff for franchise tag players to finalize long-term contracts. Guard Trey Smith, one of the league's most consistent interior linemen, has already signed his $23,400,000 0-cents tender for 2025, ensuring his roster spot if negotiations stall. But if the Chiefs can strike a deal in time, what might that extension look like? Patrick Mahomes stands at the heart of a dynasty teetering between brilliance and chaos, riddled with injuries, surprise breakout stars, and bold trade whispers. As Kansas City braces for another stormy NFL summer, an electrifying saga unfolds, one that will challenge loyalties, demand evolution, and ultimately determine whether the Chiefs can prolong their championship dominance or crumble under the strain of a rapidly evolving roster. From Isaiah Pacheco's uphill resurgence to a rookie lineman's miraculous rehab, from a forgotten wideout turning heads to explosive trade murmurs and the tantalizing prospect of acquiring a generational tight end, let's dive into the seismic shifts reshaping Kansas City. But before we unpack the drama, could I ask a quick favor? If you enjoy our content, please hit that like button. It's a simple gesture that fuels this community. Thank you kindly. Isaiah Pacheco. A comeback or a curtain call? Fans still replay the electrifying flashes from Pacheco's early days in Kansas City. His razor-sharp cuts, relentless drive through loaded fronts, and clutch fourth-quarter bursts that propelled back-to-back AFC title runs. But in 2024, that once unrelenting force cracked under the weight of injuries and attrition. A nagging knee injury sidelined him for half the season, casting a shadow over his promising ascent. His return sparked cautious hope, a shot at rekindling the fire that produced 830 yards and 5 scores as a rookie, followed by an even more explosive 935 yards, 7 touchdown campaign in 2023. But every carry lacked its old electricity. He limped to just 310 yards and 1 touchdown, a stat line almost unrecognizable. Enter Connor Orr of Sports Illustrated, whose latest bombshell ignited Chiefs Kingdom. Kansas City's leading rusher in 2025 may not currently be on the roster. Orr's forecast is driven not by spite, but by sharp analytics. The 2025 running back class is stacked, deeper and more dynamic than previous years, potentially triggering a post-camp free agent frenzy. Orr believes Kansas City will dive into that pool, seeking fresh firepower rather than wagering on Pacheco's return to form. It's not a slight. It's strategic insurance. Will the Chiefs double down on their homegrown bruiser or hedge their bets with outside competition? Their decision will define not just Pacheco's future, but the identity of the entire offense. Josh Simmons, the silent guardian in waiting. On paper, the Chiefs' O-line looked formidable even after parting with Joe Thuney, but in reality, Mahomes' blind side begged for reinforcement. That's why Kansas City traded up for Ohio State's Josh Simmons at 22, a move that screamed urgency. Towering at 6'5", 317 pounds, Simmons was once hailed as a future cornerstone until a devastating torn patellar tendon during the college football playoff cast doubt on his draft stock. But the injury allowed him to slip into Kansas City's grasp. At OTAs, Coach Andy Reid was visibly impressed. He's ahead of schedule, he said, eyes gleaming. Simmons isn't taking full reps yet, but the plan is meticulous. Build his confidence in individual drills, then unleash him against elite defenders like Chris Jones and George Karlaftis. ESPN's Adam Taker recently declared, if Simmons is healthy, he's your week 1 starter at left tackle. That means veteran Jalen Moore, signed as an insurance policy, might never crack the huddle. For Simmons, it's a trial by fire and a chance to become the immovable object shielding Kansas City's greatest asset. Tyquan Thornton, from forgotten to flashy even in a star-studded receiver room, featuring Marquise Hollywood Brown, Rashee Rice, Juju Smith-Schuster, and rookie sensation Xavier Worthy, Chiefs coaches continue to chase hidden gems. On a blazing Thursday afternoon, one emerged. Tyquan Thornton, the former Baylor burner, once a second-round pick by New England, stole the spotlight with 2 jaw-dropping catches at OTAs that left defenders flailing. He was everywhere, tweeted Pete Sweeney. Thornton's NFL journey has been turbulent, flashes of brilliance drowned in injuries and inconsistency. But his collegiate finale, 62 receptions, 948 yards, 10 TDs, is a reminder of his true ceiling. With 5 WR slots seemingly locked, Thornton could force his way into the 6th if his OTA surge carries through camp and into preseason. The window is narrow, but the spotlight is his for now. Breece Hall, the trade that could flip the division when the Chiefs waited until pick no 228 to draft running back Brazard Smith, fans sensed a storm brewing. Whispers of a blockbuster trade swirled, and one name kept resurfacing, Breece Hall. Connor Orr doubled down, suggesting Hall could be on the block as the Jets struggle with contract decisions. And Kansas City, a prime destination. Hall's rookie campaign dazzled. 5.8 yards per carry. His sophomore season, a monster 1,585 total yards. But in year 3, under Aaron Rodgers' pass-heavy offense, he regressed. Now, the Jets have drafted Armand Moo and face looming salary cap decisions. Hall might be expendable, and Kansas City's revamped O-line could be the perfect launch pad for his next chapter. Imagine it, Mahomes under center. Baking the throw, Hall slicing through daylight, defenses gasping, divisions shifting. The price? Possibly a mid-round pick. The payoff? Potentially monumental. Kyle Pitts, the heir to Kelsey's throne. Dynasties don't rest. And with Travis Kelce inching toward the twilight of his legendary career, the Chiefs are eyeing the future. Enter Kyle Pitts, the 24-year-old enigma whose misutilization in Atlanta has sparked league-wide intrigue. Rice's rookie campaign in 2023 wasn't just solid, it was spectacular. Back in the second-round pick, burst onto the scene and immediately rewrote the record books. 7 receiving touchdowns and 79 receptions as a rookie. That's not padding stats in garbage time. Those are clutch, momentum-shifting plays in high-stakes moments. What makes Rice such a threat isn't just his glue-like hands. It's his football intelligence, surgical route running, and uncanny ability to exploit soft spots in coverage. He makes elite defenders look ordinary. And Mahomes thrives when he has trustworthy weapons, and Rice is exactly that. He creates separation, wins contested battles, and turns routine catches into explosive gains. And he's surrounded by a receiving corps that's quietly becoming one of the most lethal in the NFL. Marquise Hollywood, Brown brings blazing speed and veteran savvy. Juju Smith-Schuster offers grit, clutch instincts, and championship pedigree. Xavier Worthy is already flashing brilliance as a rookie, and Jalen Royals, the 4th-round gem, adds dynamic depth and untapped potential. But Rice is the crown jewel, the potential WR1 who can be the engine of this offense. He's not just talking big, he's exuding belief. He's been vocal about how this group is going to be explosive and light up the scoreboard, and you can feel it. It's not just swagger, it's certainty backed by talent. When you combine Rice's deep threat ability, Worthy's speed, Brown's experience, and Juju's consistency, you're looking at a nightmare matchup for defensive coordinators week after week. Let's not forget, the Chiefs were this close to making NFL history last year, falling just short of a three-peat after a tough loss to Philadelphia. That stung bad. The Eagles exposed a few cracks, the lack of consistent big plays, and some heartbreaking drops in critical moments. But now, with Rice back, rejuvenated and ready to dominate, the Chiefs are reloading for another title run. But as last season showed us, even elite dynasties must adapt or fall behind. The issues that plagued Kansas City's offense weren't flukes or bad luck. They were glaring, data-bagged weaknesses that simply couldn't be ignored. The Chiefs ranked 27th in the league in explosive plays per dropback, managing to gain more than 15 yards only 6.2% at the time. That's not championship-caliber production, especially for a team with Patrick Mahomes at the helm. The only teams worse in that category? The Browns, Giants, Patriots, Dolphins, and Bears, all of whom were watching the playoffs from their couches. The numbers get more alarming. Just 6.7 yards per attempt, firmly in the league's lower tier. Only 42 passing plays of 20-plus yards, 6th worst in the NFL. And only 4 passing plays of 40-plus yards, tied for 2nd worst in the entire league. Their longest pass of the season, a modest 54 yards, 3rd worst league-wide. Stats like that don't win rings, they get coordinators fired and postseason dreams shattered. But here's why Rashee Rice changes the equation entirely. This young phenom has a rare blend of explosiveness, precision, and football IQ. He can turn a 5-yard slant into a 50-yard sprint. He separates deep downfield. He improvises when plays break down, and that is exactly the kind of player Kansas City was sorely missing last season. The chemistry he shares with Mahomes, it was already forming in those first 4 games before the injury. Timing, trust, rhythm, all showing flashes of something truly special. And while Mahomes has elevated many receivers, Rice is one of the few with the talent to elevate Mahomes right back. That kind of mutual synergy is how you build dynasties, break records, and win Super Bowls. See, when you're the Kansas City Chiefs and you've scaled the NFL summit multiple times, every decision is scrutinized under a microscope like an insect pinned in a lab. Every draft pick, every free agent signing, every trade, it all matters because the margin for error narrows to razor-thin levels when you're trying to sustain greatness. And that's precisely where we find ourselves today, discussing a move that could define the next decade of Chiefs football. The 2025 NFL Draft came and went, and while most fans were laser-focused on the flashy top picks, something intriguing was brewing down at pick number 32. Now, I know what you're thinking. Pick 32, that's just the last pick of the first round. What's the big deal? Let me tell you. That mindset is exactly why so many people miss the forest for the trees when it comes to constructing championship rosters. True dynasties aren't built on just the top 5 picks that everybody obsesses over on social media. They're forged in the fire of identifying hidden gems where others see risk, spotting raw talent where others see question marks, and having the guts to make bold decisions when the stakes are sky high. Thank you guys. See you next video.